ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलनं वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमः योगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Verse 23 अपरोक्षशिला बुद्धिः न परोक्षेशतां नुदेत् प्रतिमादिषु विष्णुत्वे को वा विप्रतिपद्यते. So in this chapter Vidyaranya establishes that Aham Brahmasmi Dhyanam can exist in two different ways. One is a Nirguna Brahma Upasana, second is a Nirguna Brahma Nididhyasanam. So whether it is Upasana or Nididhyasanam, it all depends upon the mindset of a meditator. If person has understood Mahavakya well properly, then it is a equation which he has understood. Means I am Brahman he has understood clearly. And means I am Brahman, that Jnanam also he has. Then if he has this Jnanam, then what for this meditation he does? Well, it's only to get rid of a habitual error. There is nothing else. So the meditator's attitude for Dhyanam, for Nididhyasanam is a different. He knows it's a fact that I am Brahman. That is what understanding of Mahavakya is. Where you are clear that I am Brahman. But because ignorance is anadi and therefore the Atma Buddhi in Deha etc. occurs. Habitually it occurs. Many errors we do out of habit. So many. Even for me, this is an error. Always here, whenever I have to sit in the car, I always go on the side of that driver's side I go. Then they say, Swamiji, on the other side you have to go. Simple thing. Now 3 years, 4 years, but still I do mistake. So this kind of a thing. Not that I don't know. Not that it's a right hand drive, left hand drive, etc. I don't know. I know. But still it occurs. That kind of a thing. Therefore, even though you know, means it's a fact, very clear to you, yet habit. Error in terms of an habit. Here also. So same, in order to get rid of it, he does this meditation or a Nididhyasanam. One thing is clear in his mind, that moksha is something which I have not to gain. I am not a mumukshu. That's it. Moksha is not a future event which will take place in the future. What for Nididhyasanam? Nididhyasanam is for moksha only, right, Swamiji? No way. Nididhyasanam gives moksha, means before Nididhyasanam you are not free, right? You are bound. If you are bound, means you have not understood Mahavakya. Mahavakya reveals you are free. Please understand this very well. Therefore, most of our sadhakas keep doing this mistake. They always say, Swamiji, I have understood, I have understood this Vedanta very well, but still moksha, I am waiting for moksha. Moksha will happen in the future. I will do Nididhyasanam, then moksha I will become free. That's a wrong understanding. Nididhyasanam does not give you moksha. Nididhyasanam does not give. Nothing gives you moksha. Nothing gives you moksha. Jnanam gives moksha, right, Swamiji? No. Means Jnanam will produce moksha, right, Swamiji? No. No way. Jnanam reveals to you that already you are free. Where you are taking yourself in Ajnana Dasha, in a state of ignorance also, you are free, but not knowing that you are free. What is bound can never become free, and what is free can never become bound, if it is a nature. And therefore, only thing is you take it otherwise, then only this thing is possible. And therefore, Nididhyasanam does not give moksha. Mananam does not give moksha. Shravanam does not give moksha. Jnanam gives moksha, Jnanam gives moksha, Jnanam, it is a Jnana phalam. If you have Jnanam, there will be, a moksha will be produced, it's a phalam. No way. Jnanam helps you to drop the notion that I am bound. That's it. Nothing else. The person who can easily drop the hot potatoes, well, he will have a goody days, okay? So, if you are hot potato, let me drop it. No, I will not drop it. While you teach between 10:30 to 11:30, I will listen to you. After 11:30, I will try to improve the hot potato. So, Anatma, I will try to improve. Never it works. Maybe Janmas will go. Janmas. How can you say, Swami, Janmas will go? Till today, many Janmas have gone sailing smoothly in Ajnanam. In darkness, we have sailed. It goes life after another. So, improving Anatma is with understanding, establishing yourself in that clarity that I am free, then you try to improve Anatma, then you are improving Anatma as Anatma. But right now, suppose, if you don't have a knowledge, I know you have a knowledge, but in case if you don't have a knowledge that I am free, then you definitely take Anatma as Atma. And that is why you want to improve. Thinking that if I improve Anatma, and I will bring to a certain level, and there will be, then in that ideal condition, I will be free. I will be comfortable with myself. No. You are comfortable to yourself. You should know. The Atma is basically most comfortable. Atma is Sada Shanta. Atma is fullness. Anyway, and therefore Atma is timeless. So you are secure also. Be comfortable. You are like that. Unnecessarily we are, I am the problem, I am the solution. Unnecessarily I become a problem for myself. Anyway, so this is a Nididhyasan Dhyata. This person doesn't take himself as a mumukshu. He says, I am Brahman. But in order to get rid of that habitual error, well, he does this Nididhyasana Vritti Avritti. As I told you, Aham Brahmasmi Vritti Avritti. Vritti Avritti means, Swamiji, he will repeat like this, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham. No. He sees the meaning. He analyzes it because he has a teaching. Shravanam he has already done. So, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Shuddhosmi, etc. That's why I would like to clarify, because I said last time, Aham Brahmasmi Vritti Avritti. So you may feel that it's like a japa. He is also doing japa. No. He doesn't do. He doesn't do japa. He sees the effect, he sees the meaning again and again in order to get rid of that habit. So, this is a one type of a dhyanam, or means this person, the person who has understood Mahavakya. So, and then the other person does a vritti avritti because he doesn't take himself to be free. He says, I am a mumukshu right now. I have not understood Mahavakya properly, and therefore, while I don't take myself to be free, moksha will be in future. I am right now mumukshu. No, but you are Brahman. No, but I have not understood. I am Brahman, that's Mahavakya, I have not understood. Well, so improper understanding, not understanding properly, etc., etc. Or Even he has understood, he is not able to accept it, whatever may be the obstacle. But then, well, to such a person, well, there is upasana. Aham Brahmasmi upasana, Nirguna Brahma upasana. So, this is, he does a vritti avritti in form of this upasana, japa, etc. So, one is doing a Aham Brahmasmi avritti, means reflect, dwelling upon this teaching for mumukshutva vasana nivritti. Whereas the other person does upasana. He is doing file to get rid of the obstacle. He takes himself to be mumukshu. Whereas the person who does nididhyasanam, he, by habit, he takes himself to be still a seeker. Then, well, he says, I am really not seeker, but this occurs in my mind due to habit. Let me get rid of it. For that, he dwells upon the teaching again and again. Aham Brahmasmi vritti avritti, you can say that way. And so he will become free from that habit. So this is how this both are. One has a jnana vritti avritti. Other is a aropa. He does a aropa for nirguna brahma upon himself. He takes himself to be individual only, mumukshu only. So he does a adhyaropa. Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman actually. That kind of a aropa, upasana he does. So Vidyadhara wants to point out later also that upasana can remove this obstacle, can't give knowledge, can't give moksha. Upasana does not give moksha, upasana does not give knowledge, etc. Because it is karma, right? Upasana is the manas karma. Karma cannot give jnanam. Karma cannot. Karma is based on free will. Where the free will is surrendered to the pramana, then you gain jnana, prama. Therefore, this is entirely different. Karma cannot give moksha, because karma can give karma phala, which is always time bound, because karma is time bound. Moksha is something which is eternal, and therefore karma cannot give moksha, karma cannot give jnanam. Well, but karma can definitely remove something which is born of karma. This upasana becomes a counter karma to get rid of the obstacle, which is again karma phala. Obstacle is not that Bhagavan has thrown upon you. It is our own karma of the past. Now it has come on the way of the spiritual path, it has become obstacle. Yeah. So that can be taken care of, because it's a karma phala only, obstacles. So this karma will produce a karma phala, adrishta, which can become a counter for that. And what type of a person has to practice? Well, one who has done this, we have seen that, one who has done just avantarvakya shravanam, well, Brahma Jagat Karanam Asti, etc. Or he has done a shravanam of a Mahavakya but not understood properly. Proper understanding of Mahavakya is knowing the self or knowing the Brahman as oneself. That is the clear understanding. So this is due to and I told you that is the pratibandha can be adrishta pratibandha, can be drishta pratibandha also. Certain drishta pratibandha also may be there. Some kind of a nature, and somehow he doesn't have a shraddha. Anything is possible. We are not going into that, but I am just giving few ideas to you. Even person continues to do shravanam and etc., but his shraddha is not. I have seen the people. After years also, still they have not developed that enough shraddha in the shastra, in the teachers, etc., teaching, and therefore that's an obstacle. It's a drishta pratibandha. Yeah. Or some kind of a suspicious nature, or the emotions itself become a pratibandha, anger and dvesha and something. When that is there in the mind, even if you listen, you cannot receive properly, or even if you receive well, you cannot, retain it. And there is a question of assimilation also. That is either drishta, or if the person says, well, I don't know why I don't understand Mahavakya. Adrishta. Then it is adrishta. Anyway, they can practice this Aham Brahmasmi upasana, and definitely this will be taken care of. These obstacles can be taken care of by this another karma phala through pasana, adrishta, etc. And in Brahmajnanam, etc., well, through this Avantar Vakya, well, this person gets a Paroksha Advaita Jnanam, right? And through Shastra Pramana. And of course, he has a Pratyaksha Dvaita Jnanam because he is seeing, hearing, etc., and he knows sounds are many, forms are many, colors are many, tastes are many, different forms of touch are many, tastes are many, different smells are many. So all Dvaitam. So Pratyaksha Dvaita Jnanam he has naturally. And he also has now, obstacles are there, but he has a Paroksha Advaita Jnanam. Paroksha Brahma Jnanam, you can say. And then he asked the question, how can these both exist together in one head? Advaita Jnanam and Dvaita Jnanam, how can it exist together? They are opposite. No, there is no problem. Because Brahma Advaita Jnanam is, or Advaita Jnanam is Paroksham, and Jagat, which is Dvaitam, Dvaita Jnanam is Pratyaksham. So, definitely, one is a Pratyaksha, born of senses, etc., contacting the Jagat through senses. So, Pramana is different, and so the field is different. Every Pramana has its own field. Every means of knowledge is his own field, naturally, right? Eyes have a field of only colors and forms. So this, our ears, etc., has a field of sounds only. And therefore, since both the Jnanam, Dvaita Jnanam and Advaita Jnanam are born of different pramanas, different means of knowledge, one is born through Shastra, that is a Paroksha Advaita Jnanam, and other is a Dvaita Jnanam which is born of the senses, perception, and therefore both are operating, both are having a different fields, and therefore definitely both can exist together. Only in a same level where opposite thing can't coexist. And then he has given a very beautiful example here in this 23rd verse, and that is you can see here aparoksha shila buddhi, right? Shila buddhi, shila means a stone. You know it is a stone. What? That particular idol, pratima. I'm talking about pratima. We can talk about pratika also, but then here right now pratima. So aparoksha shila buddhi. That is aparoksha means a pratyaksha. He is seeing, right? The idol which he has placed as altar to do worship. That's either brass or either stone or something like that, or wooden. So that is pratyaksha. He is seeing it through eyes. And also at the same time, it is brass or it is stone, etc. Very clear. Still he does puja. See, he is not doing puja of this brass or puja of a stone. Naturally, he has a devata bhavana also. So then he looks upon it as a form of a lord. That knowledge how he got? Well, through Shastra. So therefore, Pratyaksha reveals that it is shila or stone or brass, etc., and which is definitely inert. And he also looks upon it as a devata, which is sentient, conscious being, and then only he does a puja. And therefore, achetana buddhi and chetana buddhi, bhavana actually, that is, they are going together. In a single worship itself, he is handling both the jnana, really. I will tell you that. Anyway, so Shila Jnanam is Pratyaksham and Devata Bhavana, etc. is Paroksham. Naturally, he superimposes upon this idol as a Devata through Shastra. He is not doing on his own. That superimposition is not an error. And even if you say it's an error, it is actually Shastra Janita. We have seen yesterday, Monday. So Sambhadi Brahma is there. But it is really going to be useful. Shastra tells that this form is a form of a Vishnu or whatever. And therefore, actual Devata has, when he looks upon as a Devata has not come in the front. That's how we say. What is in the front is the stone only, Pratyaksha. Not Pratyaksha Devata, Shila Pratyaksha or Aparoksha. But Paroksha, So he looks upon it, superimposes through Shastra, etc., as a conscious being. So anyway, that is how, then he starts puja. Now I have to say that. And he starts puja. And he does abhisheka, right? On that Vishnu Pratima. Let us say brass Pratima, Chaturbuja, etc. And he is doing a abhisheka. In Diwali they do. So people will do in Gujarat and maybe other places also. Vishnu Lakshmi Puja. And generally, for Vishnu Puja, you have to do a abhisheka of that Pancha Amritam, So that is milk and curd and honey and sugar, like that. So Pancha and ghee, yeah. So this Pancha Amrita you have to make it, and then with that you have to do abhisheka. When you do abhisheka, what is the buddhi in you? What is the knowledge? Vishnu. After the abhisheka is over, he rubs literally that, At that time he looks upon it as a brass. I'm telling you. Because Devata, if you look upon it as a Ishvara's body, how can you rub like this? But in a brass, so to make it little shining and all, you rub it again. And then you properly wash everything. And afterwards, after that Upachara Abhisheka is over, you offer Naivedya. Again Devata Buddhi. So this is how it is going on. Whole puja, you play with both the kinds of knowledge. Sometimes Devata Buddhi, sometimes Shila Buddhi or Pratima Buddhi. So this is how it is going on. Anyway, and both are together, it means in a single head, both are there. So therefore, how can both this knowledge, Aparoksha Shila Buddhi and Paroksha Devata Buddhi, how can they go together? They can go together. Well, same way, so Pratyaksha Dvaita Jnanam, Jagat Dvaita Jnanam, and Paroksha Advaita Brahma Jnanam can exist in a person and can do pass, no problem. That is how it is. So Pratima, and then he gives a clear example. Pratimadishu Vishnutve. Well, in Pratima, etc., well, Pratima Adi Padat, you can take Pratika also. Omkara is a Pratika. Omkara is not a Pratima. Yeah. Because there also, Omkara is looked upon. There also you superimpose Saguna Brahma. And it is also, through that you gain a knowledge of Nirguna Brahma also. That is how Mandukya describes. So what I am saying is, but here we are talking about Upasana. Omkara is taken as a Alambana, as a Pratika for Ishvara, Saguna Brahma. Whether these matras can be looked upon as a Saguna Brahma, and this, the Varnas, all these matras, which arises from the silence, etc., is looked upon as a Nirguna Brahma, etc. Anyway, so in Pratimadishu, Pratima, Pratika, etc., well, definitely Vishnutve, you look upon it as a Chetana Vishnu, etc. Pratima is very inert. The difference between Pratima and Pratika is this. Pratima has a clear-cut limbs. You can say it's a human form or whatever. And in Pratika definitely has no limbs. Like Shaligrama. Like Vishnu's Pratima is there, Chaturbhuja, etc. And Vishnu is a Shaligrama. So Shaligrama is a Pratika for Vishnu. And the Pratima, of course, has a clear limbs for hands and these and head and everything. So that is a Pratima. Shaligrama is a Pratika. Same way even for our Shiva also. Shiva, that Lingam. Well, no limbs, clear limbs, right? So Lingam is a Pratika for Lord Shiva. And Shiva's Pratima also may be there, right? So like that. Even Haridra Khandam for Mahaganapati, etc., that lump of turmeric, etc., also is a Pratika for Mahaganapati. Or Mahaganapati's Pratima also may be there, where the clear-cut limbs are there. So this is how it is. So with respect, Kova Vipratipadyate, Pratimadishu Vishnutve, well, in looking upon this Pratima, etc., as a Lord Vishnu, etc., Kova Vipratipadyate, which Upasaka will face any conflict. Pratipatti means knowledge. Pratipadyate means knows. Vipratipadyate, confuses, gets confusion, etc. No, no Upasaka will get confused. Looking upon the Pratima, looking upon this brass idol as Devata, while still they are not confused because they can coexist together. There's no, there is a Paroksha Jnanam of Devata and Pratyaksha Jnanam of a brass or whatever, etc. is there, and they can coexist together. Of both knowledges are generated from different means of knowledge. Same way, Aham Brahmasmi Upasana also is possible. Aham Advaita Brahma Asmi, that Upasana is possible. Looking upon even the Jagat, etc., is there is Advaita Jnanam, but that is born of Pratyaksha. Aham Brahmasmi, etc., Aham Advaitam Asmi, Aham Advaitam Asmi, Aham Brahma Asmi, etc. I am that non-dual Brahman, etc. Well, that kind of a superimposition is doing through Shastra only. He has gained a knowledge through Upanishad, only Avantar Vakya, but then he has not understood clearly the Mahavakya. But he has a knowledge of Brahman. Brahman is Advaitam, etc. And that Brahman he is superimposing upon himself. So that Upasana is possible because the knowledge of Brahman is there through Shastra. And Jagat, which Dvaitam, is born of a sense perception. Both are different, have a different field. Okay, verse 24. Ashraddhalora vishvasah nodaharanamarhati shraddhaloreva sarvatra vaidikeshvadikaratah. Here Vidyaranya adds a little note that for Chaitanya Devata, well, which is worship, etc., upon that Achetana Vastu, Shaligrama, Shiva or Pratima, etc., there is no conflict. Because this person who is doing this has got a Shraddha in Shastra. That is how, because clearly seeing a stone, clearly seeing a brass idol, it's just a brass. Pure knowledge, it means it's just a brass. Still, he superimposes Devata upon that, well, through Shastra, means he has a very, very much Shraddha. So he has got Shraddha in the Shastra. So even though his sense organs, etc., are reporting, well, but still, as a inert thing, he doesn't, and he knows he doesn't have any kind of a hunger, thirst, etc. Well, it cannot hear the prayer. Brass cannot hear your prayers. Brass cannot eat anything. Brass cannot drink anything. But he offers the prayers and he offers the food and he offers paniyam, madhya madhya amruta paniyam samarpayami, etc. etc. He does everything. And therefore, all this is possible because he has a Shraddha that, gain knowledge of the Devata, etc. And Shastra only tells to superimpose, etc. So he invokes Devata upon that idol, etc. So he takes he looks upon it as a Vishnu Devata, Shaligrama, etc., or the Linga, etc., as a Shiva. And he understands, if I worship this, I will gain punyam also. He is very clear. Or you are doing all this thing to a brass which is inert. How he is going to give punyam? How he is going to listen in your prayers, etc.? No, that kind of a thought doesn't occur to him. Anyway, so that much Shraddha he has. So he knows what I am doing is very valid, and I will definitely gain this phalam of this upasana or phalam of the puja, etc. Phalam of the prayer, etc. And that is how at the end also he says Kshama Prarthana also. That I have done elaborate puja, but yet I might have done some mistakes because of a limitation of my knowledge, etc., skills, etc., and therefore forgive me. And after that also, well, he says Yathasthanam Pratisthapayami. So Bhagavan, now I have done this puja, आप अपने स्थान पे जाइए. Please go to your own place now. Because आप यहाँ रहेंगे तो means if you will be here, or Pungoji will say, what Hindi Swamiji you are saying. So anyway, so point is, you say Yathasthanam Pratisthapayami. Means you have come from some abode, Vishnu, Kailasa, etc., our Vaikuntha, etc. So please take your leave. I take your leave, you take my leave. That's how it is. That is how Avahanam is there. Avahayami, Devesha, etc., etc. So you do avahanam, you invoke, you call him, you do our entire puja, and then you say, now I take your leave or you take our leave. So that shows what? He looks upon it as a devata. With a Shraddha he does everything. It is sentient devata. Not because of scientific reasoning, etc., but because science cannot prove all this kind of a thing. There is a Vishnu, etc. Science will say it's just a matter, brass or stone. It's just based on the Shraddha. Shraddha loho. Based on the Shraddha in the Shastra. The Shastra is a valid source of knowledge. For him, actually, see, this is what we have to understand. We people feel that we don't have any scientific temperament. It's not true. It's not true. We know where the science has application. What is the field of science we know, and what is the field of Shastra we know. And therefore, well, we don't try to combine them together. So where the science has to say something in the which field, well, we have to listen to it. Anyway, so here in this kind of a cases, and well, upon devata, etc., all this is aparusha vishaya, punyam, etc., doing this puja, gaining punyam, all this is a aparusha vishaya, and there Shastra is a valid source of knowledge. Science in any way, no way science can prove this. No way. Some punya is arising, some kind of instruments they will develop, sophisticated instrument which will see the punya arising from a good karmas, etc. No, it won't be possible. No, because it is beyond human perception. We for certain people, what is beyond perception, well, is illogical. No, that's not true. That's not true. There are certain things which is beyond perception. Because human perception and the means of other knowledge, inference, etc., well, has a certain limitation. It works in a certain field. So, what is available for perception in regarding that, you can even do inference, etc., reasoning, etc. But there are things in the world which is beyond perception. Therefore, beyond perception is illogical. No. There are things which is beyond reasoning. And their Shastra alone is a pramana. And somebody, but can you give an example of what is beyond reasoning? Atma alone is beyond reasoning. Atma is beyond reasoning. If it is beyond reasoning, beyond perception, then we'll say it is not there. Ashabdam, asparsham, arupam, alasam, nityam, agandavat. You can do reasoning based on the perceptual data. That is how science works. What is beyond reason means there is no perceptual, from perception you don't get any data. Therefore you cannot do inference, reasoning, etc. regarding that. Therefore, well, that is not there. That's how scientists don't believe in this Atma, etc. But there is beyond reasoning, which doesn't require reasoning, which doesn't require perception, but because of which perception is possible, because of which reasoning is possible. There is such a thing. And therefore, ultimately, Atma is something which is beyond reasoning, which is beyond reasoning, therefore illogical. No, it doesn't require logic. Yeah. What one wants to prove through logic, well, ultimately, before that one exists. Yeah. One exists, then one can perceive. One exists, therefore one can do reasoning, inference, etc. All these things you can do. But before you do that, well, one exists. Therefore it is beyond perception. Perception is possible because of that. Anyway, what I am saying is, so this Shraddhalu means what? This kind of Shraddha. He has a Shraddha in science also. He has Shraddha in Shastra also. And he is clear also. The fields are different, etc. If Shraddha is not there, then will this Pratima, this Murti, etc. is looked upon as just an inert thing. And maximum it can have a art value. Yeah. That is how people go to this Ajanta, Ellora, etc. There are beautiful Shiva Murtis or other things are there. And this person goes there with the shoes and stand besides it and tell someone that, or takes a selfie. Like that. For him there is no other value. For him, it's an art value. Oh, this is very old one, etc. This statue is of 5 BC and 200 BC and like that. Oh, that kind of a thing will be there. And definitely to such person, if you say, please remove your shoes, you can't do like this. You can take photo, no problem, but please remove shoes, keep there. He will have a conflict. Why? Yeah, this is stone. Why I should remove my shoes? No, this is not a stone. This is Devata. We look upon it as a god. What? This is God. So the person who doesn't have a Shraddha, he will have a conflict. The person who has a Shraddha doesn't have a conflict. He sees brass, he sees the stone, and at the same time he superimposes Devata upon that. Through Shastra Pramana gain knowledge and he worships also. So that is how it is. So Vidyaranya says, well, so for such a Shraddhalu, well, there is no conflict. I keep in the mind, well, those people who have this kind of a Shraddha, Ashraddhaloho avishwasaha udaharanam na arhati. Na arhati, does not deserve. Udaharan, drashtanta, illustration. I mean, what we are discussing, there don't bring this kind of people as a udaharanam, as an illustration. Who? Ashraddhaloho. For the person who doesn't have a Shraddha, who does not accept the sentiency of idol, because that's not there, but through Shastra Pramana we superimpose it. So for such a person, Ashraddhaloho is the sixth case. For such a person who doesn't have a Shraddha, Avishwasa, here Avishwasa will take it as a conflict. There will be a conflict. And Udaharanam Nahrati, such a person is not an example here. Means Nastika is not an example here. Astika. Asti iti vadati iti saha astika. Asti. What asti? Well, Vedaha pramanam asti iti vadati. Saha astika. Vedaha pramanam nasti. Saha vadati iti nastika. Pramanam nasti nastika. Asti astika. That's how it is. Vedaha pramanam asti. Veda is a pramana. And pramana means there is a surrender. Pramana means surrender. For knowledge to take place through any means of knowledge, your free will has to be suspended. Then only knowledge takes place. You have a full Shraddha what eyes reveal to you. Really. You have a full Shraddha what ears reveal to you. Yeah. Same way, for him, if he looks upon the validity of the Shastra, well, then definitely, well, whatever Shastra says, he does it. So Shastra says, you look upon this as a Devata. So, well, he does it. He superimposes, etc. Such people are the Udaharanam here, he says. Vidyaranya says, Ashraddhaloho avishwasaha udaharanam nahrati. Such people are not a avishwasaha, you have to keep aside. Ashraddhaloho udaharanam nahrati. So, he doesn't, they don't deserve as an example here. Because this is what we are talking, Samvadi, Brahma and Upasana and getting rid of obstacles and then gaining Mahavakyas, understanding clarity and then Nididhyasana. All this is for ultimately Astikas, right? Because Shastra, the Upanishad, etc. are pramanam for them. And therefore, they are under the discussion. Shraddhaloho eva means a faithful person who has this pramanya buddhi in the Shastra. Sarvatra Vaidikeshu. See? Sarvatra Vaidikeshu, well, Shraddha will be there. In all scriptural matters. Means in Karmakanda, in Upasana, in Jnana. Everywhere. And that is how even karmas also, well, he performs. Nowadays you don't see all this, Shraddham, Tarpanam. Immediately, well, his eyebrows will raise. Shraddham, Tarpanam, why should I do all this? Shraddhayat kriyate tat shraddham. If you have a Shraddha, you will be able to do. People say, Swamiji, it will not reach there. Because you say the Jiva gets another Janma, then he has already acquired a new body. He is no more my father, because he is a son of someone else, Swamiji. Or he is a daughter of someone else. Or maybe some other yoni, we don't know. But anyway, so he says, why it will not reach there. If my father is there in some form, it will reach whatever I do. Yeah, but you are not doing for his sake. You are doing for your own sake. That's called Pitru Yajna. That is called Pitru Yajna. Out of this Panch Mahayajna, this is one of the Yajna. You do for your own sake. You are obliging yourself. You are already under obligation of Pitrus, and therefore you are not obliging them further. You are obliging yourself by doing it. Since you are standing in front of me and gaining this knowledge, you have got this human body through your Pitrus, and therefore do it for your own sake. And it is to be done on a daily basis, but not Shraddha Tarpanam, but something else also. That's a specific Naimittik karma. But there are certain Nitya karmas also, where anyway, Panchamayagna has to be done. That is told in the Taittiriya Aranyaka very beautifully. Anyway, so that is how. You don't extend. Why should I do? You give me some scientific reason for that. If you show me that this is really creating some effect, then only I will do. We can't show that. So Astikas will accept it without argument. Nastikas will not accept. They tell that you give certain data. You give some proof that this will definitely change something out. And we generally, many parents ask me this here also. That Swamiji, believe, they say because of samskara, they have migrated from India, before 20, 30, 40 years, they might have come here still. They have been brought up there, and so they say, well, Swamiji, we will do, and we are doing for our Pitrus. But what about our children who are born and brought up here? What about them? So, and Swamiji, we tried to convince them, but we could not convince them. You cannot convince them. Really, I'm telling you. You cannot convince. And therefore, because you will miserably fail in this argument. Why? Swamiji, you are very pessimistic. No. Point is the effect which is created through the Shraddha, Tarpana, etc. is Apaurushaya. Apaurushaya, because all the subject matter is Apaurushaya. So what effect, etc., Adrishta will be produced. Adrishta itself shows na drishtam. So at any time in a human life, you are not going to see any kind of a punya, etc. arising. Well, and therefore you cannot prove. You cannot prove. What is not available for perception, then what else is there with you? Pratyaksha alone is a Mula Pramana. Based on that, only some inference or some scientific inquiry can be done. Anyway, so only, these people, Shraddhalu alone, are, so here it says, Sarvatra Vaidikeshu, means in Karmas, Upasana, and Jnanam, everywhere, there is an eligibility. Adhikara is there. And that Adhikara, well, we have seen is this Shraddhalu, etc. So therefore, don't bring Nastika as an example. Udaharanam narati. Ashraddhaloho udaharanam narati. Verse 25. Sakridaptopadeshena parokshajnanamudbhavet Vishnumurtyupadesho hi namimamsamapekshate. So Vidyaranya points out that gaining this parokshajnanam through Avantar Vakya, etc. study is relatively simple, actually. But Mahavakya will give you aparoksha jnanam of Brahman. That is difficult. Difficult means you have to analyze, right? And therefore, like saying, suppose, if you take a initial Vakya of the Taittiriya, Brahmanandavalli, Brahmavalli, that is from this Brahman which is Akasha is born and this Vayu is born and this is born. You may accept it. You have a Shraddha in the Shastra, and so you will accept. Jagat Karanam Brahmasti, there is Brahman which is the cause of the entire creation. You will accept. And you give example also so that it is easier for you to accept. That Brahman is basically just a maker and material both, through examples, etc. Upanishad itself gives example, very well, of the spider and other things. And so you can understand very well. And you accept it. Now in that there is no big intellectual exercise. But that Brahman which is Jagat Karanam is you. Even this, suppose if you take this Jagat Karanam Brahman as limitless Brahman, naturally, because maker and material. Therefore, well, that Brahman is limitless. That Brahman is Asangam. Brahman Shuddham. It is not affected by anything, any kind of a doshas, nirdosham. etc. Brahman is Shuddham, free from any punya, papas and everything. You can understand. Not big intellectual exercise. But that Brahman which is Shuddham is you. That Jagat Karan Brahman is you. Means you are Jagat Karan. Means you pervade everything. Right? You are the very material. Therefore, you are everything. Oof, that is too much. So, aparoksha jnanam of Brahman is quite difficult. Paroksha jnanam of Brahman is relatively simpler. Brahma asti, such a kind of Brahman asti which is Jagat Karanam, etc., is very easily it can be swallowed. So, and therefore, so when you listen to this Mahavakya, etc., then Shravanam, etc., of Mahavakya is not enough because, I mean, as I told you, it requires analysis. I mean, just Shravanam itself has a lot of analysis. Mimamsa starts there, in fact. And that you know very well, we discuss also sometime. Upakrama Abhyaso Apurvata Phalam Arthavadopapatisha Lingam Tatparya Nirnaya. So Tatparya Nirnaya has to be done of the Upanishad, even with the help of teacher, even if you are doing. Well, in the Shravanam, he is imparting the teaching. Well, you have to also constantly, put a step along with the teacher in order to get clarity. So Shravanam, of course, is there, but Shravanam is not enough because several doubts will arise, and that is to be resolved also. So Mananam also is required. So to gain aparoksha jnanam through Mahavakya, well, is not a easy thing. Mananam also is required. Shravanam also is proper. Shravanam has to be done. And therefore, simply, even if you have listened that Aham Brahmasmi, etc., has been discussed, and but you haven't gained the aparoksha jnanam, etc., then in that case, well, you say, I am not able to understand it, suppose. But still, Aham Brahmasmi, you have listened and you take it as, and then you take it as a, basically, you take it as a upasana, you can take for yourself. So, upasana also does not require, Aham Brahmasmi upasana, Nirguna Brahma upasana also does not require much thinking, because you have to superimpose upon yourself. You take yourself as a mumukshu or a ahankara, you superimpose Nirguna Brahma upon yourself. Not much deal. I mean, it's not a big exercise. But Aham Brahmasmi, if it is to be understood, that equation has to be understood in order to knock off this ahankara. That requires a big Shravanam, Mananam, etc. Nididhyasanam I am not saying here because we are discussing with the Upasana, etc. Nididhyasanam is for habitual error anyway. But Shravanam and Mananam should give you clarity. Nididhyasanam is with that clear teaching, you basically dwell in that clear teaching. Shravanam plus Mananam gives the clarity. That's it. Most of our Prakarana Granthas are helping in Mananam. Yeah. Most of the Manana Granthas, most of the Prakarana Granthas are helping you in Mananam. Yeah. They discuss the subject matter at a great length with lots of Purupakshas and resolving the Purupaksha, etc. So that is why we say, many people ask that, Swamiji, if I want to gain knowledge, merely, one Upanishad you please give the name, and that I will listen again and again and I gain knowledge and that's it. I don't want all this Upanishad, that Upanishad, the Bhagavad Gita, and then Prakarana Granthas and this and Brahma Sutra. Just one Upanishad. In that case, well, we say you can study this Kenopanishad. Mandukya eva alam. Well, Mandukya, you study Mandukya. That is enough. I am telling you. Really, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. We say all this for the sake of saying. Nothing works. When you study Pancadasi, you have come to know that thousands of doubts which have been raised, they are my doubts. Therefore, so basically, this is the advantage. Nishkarma Siddhi gives you so clarity about this Mimamsa Shastra and the Karma Shastra and Brahma Shastra, or the Jnana Kanda. Very much clarity about Karma and Jnanam, the place of Karma, place of Jnanam, very beautifully. And how Mahavakya generates a knowledge. We have not discussed how Mahavakya generates knowledge. So much nuances in the second chapter of Praneshkarmisiti. So, this just by the way I am saying that every Prakarana Granthas has the contribution in giving you the clarity. That is the role. That is how they discussed a one particular part of the whole subject matter. There are many things discussed in the Upanishad, but they take a particular, they pick up acharyas who write a Prakarana Grantha, they pick up a certain subject matter only. Shastra ekadesha sambaddham. And therefore, and then they analyze it thoroughly, creating Purvapaksha, answering them, etc. Anyway, so for doing this Nirguna Brahma Upasana, it says Sakruta Aptopadesha. Sakruta means once. Asakruta means again and again. Sakruta Apta means a teacher who has told that there is a Aham Brahmasmi discussion and this person is sitting in the class. And teacher analyze, of course. Teacher does not make a statement. But this person has not understood because of obstacle. But he has listened that Aham Brahmasmi. And that kind of a Shravanam is enough for that person to do Upasana. That is enough for that person. Paroksha Jnanam Udbhavet. So Sakruta Aptopadeshena Paroksha Jnanam Udbhavet. Paroksha Jnanam will definitely take place. So Brahman is ever free, Brahman is free from attributes, Brahman is ever pure, Brahman is, Ananda, etc., fullness, etc. Well, he understands that. Like what? Vishnu Murti Apekshen Upadesha Vishnu Murtyu. So it's not Mrityu. It is Vishnu Murtyu. Means Vishnu Murti plus Upadesha. It's a Yan Sandhi. Vishnu Murtyu Padesho hi na mimamsam apekshate. Mimamsa analysis. No analysis, big analysis is required. For what? Vishnu Murti Upadesha. Well, this brass idol with that all limbs, Pratima. Well, you look upon as this Vishnu Murti. Well, there is, he doesn't have much problem. And in fact, most of our Dhyana Shloka gives the description of that also. Yeah. Dhyana Shlokas, if you understand the translation, that gives the description of this, that this is a idol of a Vishnu, etc. And so in that there is no logic. No, you have not to apply any lakshana or anything in that. You can visualize that way. The way Dhyana Shloka describes, you can visualize that. And meditate also, worship also. Here we are talking about meditation. So even you can meditate also like that. So Mimamsa means basically this analysis. Analysis of the Veda Vakya is called Mimamsa. Pujita Vicharaha is Mimamsa. There is Madhatu. Madhatu means to measure, to analyze. From that they have made this word Mimamsa. Like from Gnadhatu we make Jignasa. Like that. Gna means to know. Jignasa means desire to know, but Madhatu gives Mimamsa does not mean that it is Sanpratyaya, means it's in terms of desiring to analyze. No. Mimamsa has been translated as a Pujita Vichara, a reverential analysis. Why reverential? Because Veda Vakya. So Veda Vakya Vicharaha Mimamsa. So analysis of the Veda Vakya. Therefore there is definitely a reverence is involved, and therefore it says Pujita Vichara. So Vishnumurti Upadesho, he teaching of this form of the Vishnu, etc., does not require, Mimamsa does not require elaborate inquiry. Those Upakrama, Upasamhara, nothing is required. Mananam is not required. So even if you listen, Dhyana Shloka translation, but that's enough for you to meditate on that idol, Pratima, as a Vishnu. So here also, Nirguna Brahma Upasana, the person can do without much inquiry. Naturally, he has listened at least Avantar Vakya, or even Mahavakya has listened, but even though he has not understood, but that's enough for him to do Nirguna Brahma Upasana without any conflict. He has a Shraddha. 26. Karmopasti vicharyete anushtheya vinirnayat bahushakha viprakrinam nirnetum kaf prabhur naraha. So Vidyaranya now differentiates this Paroksha Jnanam and Aparoksha Jnanam. We saw that Paroksha Jnanam is easier. right? And with that Paroksha Jnanam, one can do Upasana. A Paroksha Jnanam definitely requires analysis of Mahavakya, and that is a little difficult. We have seen that also. So again, he differentiates further. That Paroksha Jnanam is easier, Aparoksha Jnanam is, I mean, there of course only Shraddha is required. Aparoksha Jnanam of course there is a Shraddha, but then you definitely require something else. Mind should be free from obstacles, etc. Here, because you have to analyze it, you have whatever teacher says, you have to analyze. Teacher analyzes, but you have to understand it. For that, mind is should be free from obstacles. And now for that, to show the differences between Paroksha Jnanam and Aparoksha Jnanam of this Brahman, he gives example of a Karma Anushtanam and Karma Jnanam. So Paroksha Jnanam, well, with the help of that, our person does Anushtanam, Upasana. And well, to gain Aparoksha Jnanam of Brahman, definitely he needs need to analyze whole thing, Mahavakya, etc. Same in Karma also it is like that. Here we are talking about Jnanam, in that, this is a thing. Paroksha Jnanam, Aparoksha Jnanam will be different. But in Karma also it is like that. Karma Anushtanam does not require any analysis. But Karma Jnanam definitely needs a lot of analysis. So that's what he is giving as example. So, Karma Anushtanam here, let's take even our Nirgun Brahma Upasana also is a karma, right? Definitely it doesn't require, as I told you, it doesn't require much analysis. But definitely that Mahavakya understanding which gives Aparoksha Jnanam requires a understanding. Even any karma, why this? Any karma. Like suppose a karma, you want to perform a certain yaga, right? And on a particular day, like Shivratri is there and you want to do Rudra Yaga. Or Janmashtami is there and you want to do some Sudarshan Homa or Vishnu Yaga, etc. Well, what do you do? You know, we are going to do that karma and therefore we have to know each step, and why in that each step also we have to employ a reasoning, why this only Akshata is there and why this is not there, and why this particular type of Naivedya is there, and why this mantra and which is addressed to that Devata. Nothing. You just come. And as that, as that priest tells you, you do it. Karma Anushtanam does not require any analysis on your part. You simply follow. Whereas Karma Jnanam, suppose you don't have a help of suppose, which is not the case now, but you don't have a help of a priest and you want to do Rudra Yaga. You have to start. Rudra Yaga involves Rudra Devata, and what are the mantras which addresses to Rudra Devata, how they should be invoked. There's a big procedure. How they should be involved, how they should be invoked, and what are the materials involved in that in offering, and how they are offered. What will be the time exactly which is to be done, and I mean in a particular in a day, what time it should be done. That's how Jyotisham also has come into the picture. Jyotisham is the Anga of the Veda. Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakaranam, Jyotisham, Chandas, etc. So Jyotisham is very important, that a particular karma becomes more efficacious, gives a karma phala if you perform at a particular time, etc. And there are many things. And you refer to one book which says regarding suppose Rudra Yaga. If you go to another Veda, you will find something else. Yeah. And therefore you get confused. So Karma Jnanam definitely involves a big, it requires a very, very elaborate analysis. Karma Anushtanam does not. You just come. Suppose we are performing here in our ashram in Yagashala. You just come. And as our priest Ganeshji or whatever, he says, you keep doing it. It's over. So this is how. Nirgun Brahma Upasana does not require much analysis. Nirgun Brahma Jnanam is the very self. Understanding of Mahavakya requires a big analysis. That is, we'll keep it up to this and then further we'll see. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.